Okay, so I'm gonna watch this. This is my reaction video to Is Milk Murder for Cows? Maybe, I'm not sure.
50% of the cow flesh in this country comes from spent dairy cows. So all of the animals in the dairy industry will end up at a slaughterhouse. So they'll be killed against their will.
So a sort of efficient use of those animals then?
It doesn't make it moral whether it's an efficient use of an animal. If we were talking about dogs...
Okay. First of all, morality is subjective for everybody. Morality, different people have different values for morality. People will say, yeah, there's a general consensus that we all believe this should be right. We should believe that this should be right. There's general consensus with the laws, that we have in the country, that this is correct. So this is put into place, which is fair enough. That is appropriate. However, as time goes on, morality even changes. Well, people's opinions changes, etc. And it is dependent. Unless you have a religion or something like that, you have a particular yardstick that doesn't change. But in general, if you just believe in morality, morals, which is a loose term, and you don't have a yardstick, then quite frankly, that's fluid, because as time goes on, opinions change. As science changes, people think one thing is different, is good, and then you find out so many years later that it's actually bad. But anyway, vegan activist Joey Carbstrong argues animals bred from milk suffer barbaric deaths. Okay, fair enough. If that's the case, then I can understand his point of view.
No slaughterhouses would never say that that's moral.
But we have a completely different view, don't we, towards our domestic animals than we do our farm animals.
We care about our dogs and cats at home, but we'd never subject them to the abuse that we do to cows.
Yeah, but Joe, this is the food chain,
There is some truth to that, and yeah, I do have to say, regardless if it's a food chain, we shouldn't treat the animals badly if we're going to eat them, or use them for milk, etc. They should be bred in the correct way. That's just my opinion.
The spider eats the fly, the cat eats the mouse. A tiger would eat us if we got in its way. That is what's been going on for 8,000 years. We've been drinking milk.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like evolution. If you don't have an objective morality, there is no such thing as objective morality, really. If you're an atheist, there is no, or if you're not religious, you don't have objective morality. It changes. And you can't have it because you're based on evolution, and evolution is basically survival of the fittest. So you do what you can to survive. There is no morality, like he's saying, a tiger's not gonna go feel sorry, go, oh, poor guy, I'm hungry, man, I gotta eat this, I need to eat something, and he's gonna eat me, God forbid.
Exactly, that's true.
And that is, our bodies are actually mutated to produce an enzyme called lactase, which allows lactose, which is the sugar in milk, to be digested by our gut. So our bodies...
Most human beings are actually lactose intolerant. And to say it's the food chain...
Not Europeans and Americans. Yes, China and Japan. Yeah, they are lactose intolerant, but that's not part of their diet.
You made a point about a food chain. In the environment, animals eat out of necessity. They eat each other out of necessity. We have alternatives now. 30 different plant-based milks in the supermarket. Where does calcium come from? Plants, originally. How does the cow get the calcium in their body? Plants. We can get calcium from plants.
Yeah,
what have you got against plants? Plants are living things.
They're not sentient. They don't have a central nervous system. Do you think stabbing a puppy dog in the throat is the same as cutting up a carrot?
How do you know what plants feel?
No, it's true. Plants do feel pain. There are studies out there. Plants do feel pain. Pain. Not only that, there was a study done somewhere, I can't remember what it was, but where when certain particular plant feels like it's getting attacked, it starts to produce certain things to as a defense mechanism to prevent it from being eaten.
Have a brain.
As far as sentium is concerned, it's a word. We've just realized it's sentium. Oh, this is sentium. But let's be honest, what is sentium? There are lots of things. That's your morality on sentium. You know what I mean? Technically speaking, without a doubt, plants do feel pain. There is. Let him just carry on. I just want to say.
Do you accept they're living things?
They're living, but they're not sentient.
You don't mind slaughtering living plants?
Yes,
because they don't feel pain.
That argument's really
if you're
good.
in hospital and you're paralysed, what do they call you? A vegetable.
Because a lot of people might be tempted to take up a more vegan-based diet, but they hate this kind of vegan terrorism that's going on.
Take the vegans out of the picture.
Milk is murder.
Take the vegans out of the picture.
Thing to say.
It's about the animals. Are you against animal cruelty?
I'm against animals.
Of course, it's not cruel to bolt.
I'm against human cruelty.
Me too. I don't kill humans either. But to kill animals for a product we don't need is cruel.
You have every right to be a vegan, as I have every right to be a meat eater. And you can do that. But please don't thrust the message down everyone's throats that we all have to change to veganism.
The only beings who are being thrusted are the animals who are being forced into slaughterhouses for an unnecessary reason. You just said that you're against animal cruelty, so this is your belief.
But animal welfare standards mean that we are supposed and expected to treat those animals well. And unfortunately, as part of the natural human food chain, we do eat animals.
It's
we just
natural.
don't chase them down and kill them anymore.
What happens in nature is not moral. Lions kill out of necessity just because animals kill in nature because they have.
How can you say moral? Where is your moral anchor? There is no such thing as a moral anchor. Being a Muslim, being religious, there are studies done to suggest that kosher, the way kosher is done, where the slitting of throats and the bleeding, this is the most pain efficient way for animals to be slaughtered, because quite frankly the only pain that they feel is a little snip on the neck, and then once the blood starts to gush out, it's actually just the heart gushing forward and backwards. So there is a study, there are studies out there to suggest that basically it's more pain, we'll say painless, not completely painless obviously because you're snipping the throat, but the as far as blood is coming out, they're actually losing consciousness at that particular point. It's not a case of they're feeling the pain because you've actually cut the nerve of the pain receptors. The pain receptor nerve, the moment you cut it in the throat, if you've done efficiently. And there are definitely reports about that. If I can find, I can put that out there.
It doesn't make it moral. There's a difference between what's natural
so
and
if the
what's
cows
moral.
weren't taken to slaughterhouses but just stayed...
What's moral and what's not moral, right? If I wasn't religious, my moral anchor is me. And for me, I'm the top of the food chain, and my body can take meat, it can take vegetables. So I believe then in that case, if I wasn't religious, this would be me. Okay, fair enough. I believe, sure, cruelty shouldn't be allowed. But at the same time, I can eat meat and I can eat vegetables. So I'll have a bit of both because my digestive system is, designed for both, because I have good chewing teeth and I also have the side carnivorous teeth as well. So my digestive system is designed for both. So I would do both. Sure, I understand the cruelty aspect, but no. And in terms of the food chain, I would say my views are more important. Simply from an evolutionary perspective, I think it's more efficient and it's more appropriate.
in fields and were milked that way, you'd have no problem with it.
If the cows were left alone and stopped being forcibly impregnated, so we have this
No,
high
my
population.
question is, if they were just in the fields and they were milked every day and they weren't taken
No.
would you be fine with that?
We shouldn't be exploiting animals, period.
Right,
We
so
shouldn't
your
be
issue
looking-
is not really about milk, is it?
It's
Your issue is just anything to do with animals you've got a problem with, right?
Using animals and viewing them as products is
Yeah.
a moral issue.
Well, what is wrong with a cow being milked for milk?
It's unnecessary.
Why?
do you
Why?
need
I like
breast
milk.
milk?
Joey,
You
it's
don't
not.
need breast
Produce
milk from a
milk.
cow. You're not a baby cow, bro.
You don't believe in harming other human beings.
I don't believe in harming other human beings or animals, no.
So in September 2011, you were arrested when police found a loaded sawn-off pump-action.
Oh, a
Rifle.
character attack.
No, a
Has
fact.
this got anything to do with the
fact.
topic at hand?
Well, you are okay.
a character attack
It's called a
on my
fact.
part.
It's called a fact.
Okay.
Were you found with a pump-action rifle down your trousers?
Would this be relevant if I was speaking up against dog abuse or child abuse?
I'm asking you a question. Is that true?
It's true. I was
It's
incarcerated for something I did in my
Police found
past.
29 bullets, right, as well, and a flick knife.
This
right?
is no way to have a debate on dairy.
Piers, everyone makes mistakes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is a
It's Terry,
character
it's
I'm
attack.
simply asking a question.
Okay.
You
Does that
didn't,
make-
you
does
didn't
that make-
expect to be
does that
defending
make-
your
him, did
intention,
you,
was your
Anthony?
intention with the bullets and the rifle and the flick knife to cause harm to human beings?
Okay, let me answer that. I
Yes
used
or
to
no?
consume animal products 3 times a day as well, so I was harming animals and humans.
Right.
Okay, but I changed my life around and now I'm vegan. Now, just because I did something wrong in the past doesn't mean I can't do something right now. How does that justify your abuse of dairy cow so you can have milk in your coffee?
It seems to me you were a pretty violent guy.
I
Right.
used to be.
Yeah. And a pretty
Okay?
voracious
And you can't
meat
turn your
eater.
life around and do something good for animals.
Exactly.
I think
Everyone
the
is
trouble is-
entitled. Piers, leave them alone.
Let him go.
Yeah, this was not needed to be brought up, to be honest with you. Whatever it is past is, I don't even, I mean, you know, it was unnecessary.
Let him go. Honestly.
You are
Honestly.
entitled to it. Again, I come back to this.
What have I done
I
wrong now?
realise that veganism, it's not my thing, but I realise it's a growing thing.
It is,
My
yes.
It's not your thing.
My problem is this kind of vegan
definitely not Piers'
terrorism that goes on.
He's against animal
Where
cruelty. So it is
everyone
his
that
thing.
drinks milk, according to you, is a murderer.
No,
Which is
not
nonsense.
consciously. They don't know. But now you know what happens to animals in slaughterhouses so you can have milk in your coffee. And what are you going to do
A lot
about
of
it?
cows that get milk don't go to slaughterhouses.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
You don't know nothing about the industry, my friend.
Do you renounce, I mean, you've talked about the fact it's unfair to launch a personal attack on you because of your past, but do you renounce all violence against, for instance, the farming industry or butcher shops?
I've never advocated for violence to spread a peaceful message.
So any of the attacks...
Anything I've said in the past, I've changed my advocacy. When I first went vegan, I was quite angry about what was happening to animals, and rightly so. If they were dogs, you could see the anger that majority
So
of
in
the public
March
would be-
2016, right,
Yeah.
when alongside the video entitled "Ethical Hunters Deserve a Bullet in the Head,"
Yeah.
you wrote, "I hope one of these bleeps accidentally shoot one of their own family members in the face."
Keyword.
That was 2
March
years ago.
2016.
2 years
when
ago.
I first went vegan and I seen people hunting innocent
Right.
animals. If they were hunting dogs, have you ever seen dog cruelty videos in
But
the
you
comments
just
section?
said you renounce violence, so you...
Right now.
You wouldn't say
This
that...
is 2018.
Yeah.
I've
Recent
changed
change,
my
recently.
advocacy.
So that's good. He's changed his advocacy. So, you know, that's good. This whole, I do agree with Pierce and all the others, this whole militant, you know, veganism type of thing. It has got to be stopped. In terms of educating, in terms of, you know, the industry itself, I do agree with that. In terms of, you know, the mass production of animals being, you know, born for the sake of, you know, when it's not necessary. You know, maybe in countries where it's appropriate, that's their only, you know, form of making, you know, the only form of food, then yeah, I think it's appropriate. But as far as like, you know, the Western countries, as you know, first world countries where, you know, it's not necessary, you know, where it's factory chickens and the way factory hens and the way animal cruelty would be. If it's animal cruelty towards mass production of animals in order for us to just eat it and it's not necessary, then yeah, I think it kind of needs to cut down, and we need to find a balance and need to cut it down. I think in regard to that, that's fair enough, fair point. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for viewing this. Have a great day. Peace out.